What up, world? It's your boy, Kree Rushing. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. I ain't been consistent with y'all. Trying to do the story time thing. But that ain't important. We here now, you feel me? First off, happy Black History Month, you know what I'm saying? Brought the fro out for y'all. Shoot, let's get into this thing, man. I'm going to tell y'all about the first time I got robbed. The first and only time I got robbed. Let's get that clear. Yeah, man, first and only time I got robbed. So, this was, shoot, I was probably about 15. Walking down the street, and my mom's always told me never have both your headphones in when you're walking down the street. Yada, 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 right? Should have definitely listened, because they caught your boy slipping. Now you know what I'm saying? One of those type of things where now you know better. But anyways, walking down the street, walk to the bus stop. This is back when crump was like real hot, so I was about to go and practice with some of the fellas, or lab as they used to call it, you feel me? And I was carrying the radio, and I was walking down the street, and two essays mob up on me. And one is on a bike, one is on foot. And, you know, they hit me up saying, "Oh, where you from?" Whoop-de-whoop-whoop. And, you know, I had both headphones. So I'm like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Take one out. And they're like, "Where you from?" Whoop-de-whoop. I'm like, "I don't bang." You feel me? I'm 15 at the time. This is before the affiliations, yada, yada, yada. We're going to get into that later. But, yeah, I was like, "I don't bang." And he seen I had some headphones, and he reaches for my headphones and snatches the iPod. Now, I had an iPod shuffle, and I had it in my hoodie pocket. When he sees my headphones, he yanks my headphones, then he sees the iPod, he snatches the iPod. Now, I was going to get the tripping, and then I seen the blade my man had in his hand. I don't know how I missed the blade at first, but as soon as I noticed the blade, that's when I froze. I was like, oh, snap, you know what I'm saying? This is way before we was with the business like that, but yeah, man, I froze. I ain't too proud to say it. I froze, and they took off. Boom. He on the bike, the other dude on foot running. So I'm tripping. I'm like, dang, cuz these fools done got me, right? So I walk back to the crib, call my brother, my mom. I tell her what happened. She would have called the police, yada, 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 whatever, right? 3 days later, fast forward, 3 days later, I go to Carl's Jr. because the Carl's Jr. is right across from the Denny's that we used to session at. Real Oceanside Crumpers know what it is. They know about the Denny's sessions back in the day. So I go to the Carl's Jr. and I walk in and I see the dude that had the blade that snatched my iPod. So I'm like, oh snap, there goes one. He sees me, he takes off running to the back. Boom, right? The second dude that was with him is on the register. He got his hat down to like right here over his eyes, and he trying to change his voice. He's like, "Can I help you?" Right? So I'm like, nah, I'm good, right? I leave. Don't make a scene or none of that, right? I call my oldest brother. I'm like, "Bro, these fools down here, the ones that robbed me, right?" He like, "You lying." I'm like, "They here." So I'm waiting for him. He finally pull up probably like 15, 20 minutes later. And I'm like, "Bro, it's perfect." Like, they don't know that I know it's them. They think I'm, just, not knowing it's them. They think I'm like unaware, that I'm oblivious to that it's them that robbed me. So I'm like, "I'm going to take you in there and I'm going to point the two out so you can get an idea who it is." I said, "But don't trip, because if they know, then they going to call for backup." He like, "All right." As soon as we go in there, this fool slaps a napkin holder. Boom, right? "Y'all know y'all done effed up, right?" Starts tripping and cussing. I'm like, oh, Lord. This fool slapping salt shakers and pepper shakers. He's slapping everything that's on the table that people eat out with, right? So I'm like, no. And I'm trying to pull him. I'm like trying to drag him out to Carl's Jr. And he tripping. He going ham. I'm pulling his shirt. Finally, I get him out to Carl's Jr. And I'm like, "Bro, why would you do that?" And so he was like, "Well," I said, "now they know that we know." I said, "There goes the element of surprise, right?" He like, "It don't matter. They gonna get off work," and this is his exact words, "and we gonna give them a lump for every song that was on the iPod." So I'm like, this fool, whatever. So we waiting for these fools to get off so we can get the give back, you know what I'm saying? So while we sitting there, I'll never forget, a green Maximum pulls up, right? 5 essays hop out wearing the same navy blue shirt and gloves. So one of them looking at me, and I'm staring him down too. And he like, "What's up, fool?" And I'm like, "What's up, nigga?" just like that, tripping, right? So they go into the Carl's Jr. My brother was like, you know him? I said, no, I don't know him. That's the backup, fool. I told you they was going to call for backup. But I was like, screw it. That's only 7 of them. If you still with it, I'm with it. We can go back to back and fight all of them. And he was like, I'm with it for sure. So we still waiting for them to get off. And then a white Infiniti J30 pulls up, right? Old cat gets out, right? He probably about like mid-40s, maybe close to 50s. And he wasn't swole or nothing, but he was lean, you know, and he had on a shirt, white shirt. He gets out, and he's got 2 kids in the back seat. So he's with the SS. I guess he was like they OG or whatever. So they start to come out to Carl's Jr. And I'm like, now I'm woofing. I'm trying to get myself hyped because now we up to like 8 people. I'm like, screw it, we still gonna fight. So I'm like, man, the old nigga can get it too, right? I'm talking John. The old man takes his shirt off. He got a 45 in his hip. I was like, oh, strap. Got the 45 in his hip. I was like, and back in the car. All right, so we get back in the car because we had a burner. We had no guns or nothing. So, you know, we lacking. We out there lacking. So we thinking it's going to be strictly these. So we get back in the car and I was like, man, we ain't got no gun. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we going to have to call the police for these full shooters, right? So we ended up calling the police like some weenies, right? And the police took like 2 hours to get there. They been gone. They done bounced, right? So the cops show up and I gave them a full description. This leads up to why I don't never call the police ever again. This was like one of the first and last times I ever called the police. After that, I always just been handling things myself whenever it came down to it in the street. And you know, later on, gang affiliation, whoopie whoop whoop. But anyways, so the police get there. And we gave them full descriptions, license plates, whatever they need to catch people, right? So they like the cop is kind of like insulting my intelligence. He doesn't think I know like different types of guns or whatever. He was like, he had a gun. You sure it was a gun? Are you positive it was a gun? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, was it like my gun? And the cop had a Glock, like most cops. I'm like, no, it wasn't a Glock. It was a 45. Like I know what I'm looking at. Like 1911 Colt 45, like, you know what I'm saying? And so he's like, oh, like looking at me like, what, like 45? Like, why do you know this, right? So anyways, going on, fast forward. They just want to leave. They like, well, there's nothing we can do now, yada, 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 they're gone. And I'm like, nothing y'all could do. I'm like, they work here. And the lead cop that was there, he was like, and? I said, that means they fill out job applications. They put where they live. They put their names. The manager, somebody knows who these people are. So the cop was like, oh, okay. And he was like, okay, I guess I'll go talk to the manager. Fool, you should have been talked to the man. You should have did something. They didn't want to work this at all. They didn't care about it. Even though we almost got shot, they didn't care about it. So they go in, they talk to the manager, yada, yada, yada. Talk to the manager, they come out, they're like, okay, we got their names, we're going to send this to the detectives, they're going to make some arrests, we're going to have the detectives call you, here's your case number, right? They give the case number and whatever. So after that, they leave and we get in the car and we notice that there's somebody following us. The essays didn't all leave. They had somebody there watching this all go down the whole time and sent a car to start following us. So me and my brother, we called my second oldest brother and we went to another Walmart and that's where we switched cars to kind of shake them. But it was crazy, man. It was crazy that that's how it happened, man. Like that, like it could have escalated. Like they trying to find out kind of where we live, kind of track us down. All over our iPod. It wasn't even like a fancy iPod. iPod shuffle. You know what I'm saying? Almost got shot for music you can't even see. Happy Black History Month.